Hey everybody, this is Soda Man, here to do another video for you. Here I'm doing the city of Pompeii, the famous city that was blown up by a volcano, southern tip of Italy. This is my best recreation of it. Right now we're on Capitol Hill, prominently by the Senate House, where all the lawmakers live. See the kind of the hill I've made over here, in which you have, the major gods, all very elite rich people, everything rich people could want. These are the lawmaking of the city. Kind of looking out from this, you just get a wonderful view, like, from building up. Just keep building up, and eventually get wonderful views. It's better to live on the 30th floor of a building than the first floor. Much better views. You see, in the distance, I've kind of broken up my city into different districts. Over here is the entertainment district, where you have the Coliseum, Circus Maxis, stuff like that, theaters. Then over here, this is sort of like the ghetto. You'll see this is where the poorer people live. You have brickworks, industry. You have a few rich people just because of the land value of the lake, which I'll get into a little bit later. It's very organic. You can see the bunch of trees growing in. Sort of decay, stuff that happens in poor neighborhoods. You got religion, small-time arenas, nothing like the Coliseum. Stuff like that. And this is sort of the poorer neighborhoods. Have, a bunch more industry, a bunch of trees, lower gods like Saturn, and you got the farming, all that good stuff, mining. And then we go around. My road network, actually, I should show you, is almost at the northern part of the city. It's a circle, and then a bunch of different roads spanning out from the circle. This is kind of like an autobahn or a driving circle. It's kind of the main highway of the northern part of the city, where much of the resources are grown from. Now, moving over here, you kind of get rid of the rich. You kind of get rid of the poor people, and you move into the rich people. Rich people would find it offensive to live next to poor people, so this would only be shown by richer people trying to build up and away from the poorer people, because Roman rich people always wanted to show their dominance. And we come over here. This is the lakeside. It's a very northern part of the city. It's a nice, almost like a valley. And to the back is a river. Here you get, wonderful views. Like if you were living in this one house, and you wake up every day to the beautiful lake. You don't want to see the poor people, but you get, generally a good view of the city. I mean, that land value there must be amazing. What really rich people would live in. And then you continue going through. You have, much of the things built up on platforms, showing the upper dominance, almost like vacation homes, because they're so beautiful. And look at another view like this if you were living up here. This is where, really rich people would live. You wouldn't want to have a pleb up there. That guy would be the richest pleb in all of Rome. And then you continue moving down here, as again, it's more like a vacation home, where people from, other areas would come here. Wouldn't be able to see the beautiful changing of the leaves. This nice kind of, almost like a garden, harmonious Zen type feeling. As you move up, then you get to, more rich people getting up. Look at those beautiful views. And I'm very proud of this area here. You got roads coming through it, going through the vineyards. Probably a bunch of these rich people owning those farms. And you go down here, and this is where you get to kind of like the main sort of middle class district here, where you have the clothing set up, all the bars, bakeries, sort of like the lower middle class, because it's more integrated with the poorer people, and not just the upper middle class, more like the lower middle class. And you keep on going down south to the shore. You have more people, more rich people as you get closer to the Forum. And then this is a Forum that I'm very proud of, sort of on a platform with a bunch of arc triumphs around it. You have the Victory Column. To the north here, you have a religious center. To the south, you have almost like a government, because religion also was government, I believe. I don't know when that was officially separated, but we'll just pretend this is a city that's governed by religion, since I have an 82 rating religion, which is pretty high. Very costly, I can tell you that. With the prefectures, making sure this thing would never catch on fire. Get down right to it. This is a fully upgraded forum, a true marvel in itself. Have the troops kind of there for their parade march, giving speeches, etc. Something that would have really looked like, you know, it was some 2,000 years ago. And kind of see that this is also, again, built up on platforms, building up, because when you build up, look at these beautiful views you get. You have all those beautiful things in the background. Yeah, you're right in front of the forum. I mean, these are just very beautiful places. The forum is where everyone would meet, and it's sort of in the middle of the entire city where everyone can kind of go to the forum. But I digrade. We continue going through here. You have beautiful things. You have the hospital, again, which is open to, you know... I put it there because I would think that the poorer people, all these people would come here because they don't have the great hygiene and the flowing water, well, not flowing water, but like the higher quality flowing water than the richer people would have. Then we move on here into the richer districts, in which you have, you know, amphitheaters, you have coliseums, and then you have the Circus Maximus, sort of all in its own little corner over here. And you have some nice little, you know, pockets of really rich people living by the shore. Yeah, I mean, like, look at these great views you get if you were visiting this temple. The whole city in the skyline. Go down, kind of like the you know, little gardens over here. Going through this way, have a beautiful garden opening up to the Colosseum. It's open for both the poor and the richer people, because, you know, there were much more poorer people than richer people, and these things were built to accommodate the masses. So I kind of put it, you know, in a happy medium where everyone can sort of come here, except these guys, but they got their own little entertainment. I wouldn't think if they were conducting the business of such a grand city, you wouldn't really need to walk all the way over here. You had too much work cut out for you. But, you know, if you had to make the trip, you had to. I was always kind of trying to think in the mindset of these Romans. Like, well, what if I was this guy? You know, would I want to be living right next to a giant, you know, crowded place? Like, I mean, my bad. If it was like a really rich person, would they want to have all their privacy? They wouldn't want to have privacy. They want to be up on a platform, kind of right not next to the thing, but within walking distance. That kind of thing I was trying to think about. I wouldn't put a house right there. I mean, that would just be silly. I mean, the guy would, you know, have no privacy. He's a rich person, and stuff like that. You know, again, building up in the mountains always give you wonderful views like that. You have the Senate in the background, all these beautiful things. Which brings me to my next little portion of the city. Here is the port side area where all, you know, the trading is majorly done. I didn't have any major trading centers in the city. Two reasons: there was no trading post and I didn't have a trading character. But I kind of thought of that as if this was a city primarily built for the more nobleman people, that the lower class were just kind of here to have supplies and stuff like that, which is basically what they were. They didn't. This isn't a working town, obviously. I pull up to the city-states. I would say maybe 70% of the people here are rich, and then this little part here are the poorer people, and all this is the richer people. But, you know, back in Rome, you had to know your place, and it was possible for you to gain money and wealth and move up to become an equestrian. Or after, I don't think during Republican times you could become a patrician, but, you know, there was a shot of adoption. Always that good stuff. And then moving from this port area where it's kind of very congested, and the reason why I put it congested was because there would be a lot of hustle and bustle by the ports, waiting for ships to come in. People would have to load and unload, you know, cartridges. There'd be a bunch of markets like this trying to sell the new people coming into the city items, all the sailors. Rich people liked it by the water. A lot of people like it by the water. Hell, people still like the water today. So this was a very prime, you know, real estate location. So obviously a bunch of people would want it, and a bunch of rich Romans would build a bunch of houses here. Get that wonderful rent. Let me continue walking down this way. I mean, you can just get really good views. You can really see what it would be like walking down the streets, and to the left and right of you'd have, you know, the greatest civilization buildings that were ever made 2,000 years ago. We continue going down here. You know, you have almost like the downtown district shopping over here. You have religion, etc. Which brings us back to the hill. The hill's accessed from that way and this way. I kind of lined it as a promenade, a bunch of different trees, you know, different trees all around. The main goal I was going here for the city was to have it very organic. There's some cities that I've seen that are just completely tile. No, people would put trees in. Trees add a sort of liveliness, and sometimes you can't even stop it. I mean, if you have a tree in a rich person's neighborhood, I don't think he would really care. He wouldn't go out there chop it by himself, or I don't think he would spend the money to get a slave to go do it, or the time when he could be working on the farms. So it's also, you know, very practical. I mean, not practical. I mean, organic. It makes the city have some sort of life to it, and I really like it. So this is my city of Pompeii. I hope you guys like it. Also, remember, build curvy roads. I used to be the kind of person that, if you'll see my Potovito builds, I build very cornery roads, but after having a wonderful mentor, I've learned that curvy roads just get you beautiful views like that, like these. And roads curve in real life. You know, it's a fact. And grow to love it, and you can have beautiful cities like these. Also, one more thing. I built a wall around this area here, because, you know, this was during the time of Spartacus' rebellion. I think one of the bigger cities here in southern Italy should have a wall protecting itself against the hordes of barbarians and slaves. So this is what I have so far. It's pretty much done now. If I had more RAM space, I would continue building in this little corner here, but if I build one more building, my city crashes. Well, this is my Potovito. I hope you guys like it. Rate, comment, subscribe. I guess I'll talk to you guys later.